Thanks to Oreko Ampofo for sports. Time for us now to do some business, because every Wednesday here on the show, we bring you business, and it's brought to us kind courtesy EcoBank, the Pan-African bank. Now, last week, we told you the story of victims who've suffered land litigations and had their capital locked up in this process. Disturbing figures for the show that Ghana's poor land regime is not just driving away investors, but also making doing business in Ghana very difficult. Today, we advance the narrative as Odilia Ntiamwa takes us through the basic process of home construction.
So my first question is, I buy a land, I've got documentation, I need a quantity surveyor to have a conversation with. When you come on the land, will you require that I show you evidence of my land documents being updated before you will start anything?
I think at certain circumstances, I have to ask you to provide your land papers, your documentation, because I have to advise you, because you are going to incur a cost on the project. And if I don't advise you on the necessary document that you're supposed to secure before you commence the project and you start and there's a litigation, it means the whole money will go on way here. So first and foremost, I have to ask if maybe your land has properly been registered with the appropriate authority, and you have the land title. So, but that is not the duty of a quantity surveyor, but as an advisor to the landowner, you have to at least know that. So if all this documentation has been properly been done, then at the end of the day, you'll be able to advise the person to go ahead to execute the project. But if it has not been done, to avoid future litigation, then you can advise that person to make sure that he acquire all those papers before commencing the project. You know, we have even building permit, whereby the district assembly or the metropolitan people will come, and so all these building permits are supposed to be secure first before you can commence. So if I come to your site and you don't have all this building permit, all this documentation are not ready, it means I will advise you to at least make sure that you put all this in order before you commence the project, to avoid any unnecessary litigation or waste of resources. Okay,
so the client now has all of these. Where do we start from with you as a quantity surveyor?
Yeah, well, as a quantity surveyor, the first thing that I have to, if I want to engage, or maybe a client engage me, I have to do is to go to your project site to at least establish the topography of your land size, your land shape, the conditions and other things. Then a request for your drawings. Then, because the drawings is what will help me material or the resources that will be required to execute that project. So that's your drawing.
Just a minute. You spoke about the quality of soil, yes, isn't it?
Yes, please.
Okay, tell us about that, because that is important. Because there are times when people don't even see the need for a quantity surveyor. So tell us why it's urgent to have a quantity surveyor, and then tell us also how the quality of land also comes to play.
See, who is a quantity surveyor? Because before somebody will understand why there's a need for me to engage a quantity surveyor, we have to know who is a quantity surveyor. A quantity surveyor is a construction professional person who has a broad knowledge with cost and contracts. So cost and contract. So when you're going to build and you have your drawing, maybe private citizen, private individual, you don't have money to go and hire a geologist to determine the water table of your land for you. So if you hire me as a quantity surveyor, the first thing I have to do is to go to, as I said, go to your project site. Then, because the architect has designed the building based on maybe certain perception or the ideas he has. And as a quantity surveyor, if I go to the project site, because I'm coming to also give you an estimate for the resources you need, which is include the concrete, the block, and maybe the iron rods. So helping me to understand, or going to the project site to know the type of soil, will help me also determine the depth of your foundation should be already, maybe the designer has, or the architect has already come up with a certain depths But if I go to the project site, I can also use my professional abilities also to advise you that, okay, per this type of soil and this condition, we have to raise this footing to this level. We have to have a foundation thickness of this depth in order to be able to sustain the building, the load that is coming on the building.
Yeah.
So you having 10,000, you can at least put up your substructure, and then another 10,000 can help you uplift your superstructure to certain lintel or level and another thing. Then your roofing. Now the roofing, you can have your normal aloe zinc roofing, or you can have your long span. The long span will come with its own quality and cost. Aloe zinc also come with its quality and its cost, which though they are not the same. So if you want to go and buy ordinary roofing sheet, then the cost will be you can have a minimal cost in relation to putting up your structure. If you want to go and buy, so 50,000, 60,000, 100,000 can build you a 2-bedroom house, provided you also what we call it, minimize your taste in relation to your money.
I like that. Everybody must have some good taste.
Yeah, of course.
Definitely, with 50,000 cedis, we gather that you can start building your property up to a certain standard that you want. But of course, if your quality metrics are really high, then 50,000 you would need more than that. So we have been engaging a quantity surveyor and finding out what exactly happens right after you have purchased your land and you have your land title and everything. We take a look at the exciting packages that real estate companies have. I've had some very interesting ones, like the one that East Capital has, that you just make your deposits and then the house is constructed for you to suit exactly what your taste is. But the Planned City Extension has another interesting one. It's called the rent to own, and they claim or they say that this is actually the only one that exists in the country. All you're doing is making a deposit or some little amount of money, which is not over 3,500 cedis, and then continuously make deposits as if you're renting the house. And by the time it's like 20% of the cost of the house, you can actually move in and spend the rest of the years to pay. So I'm here on their field to be finding out what really is in the details. We know that the devil is in the details, and so we want to really find out what is in the details. And I'll be speaking with the manager for the project to tell us exactly that. Okay, so I have heard about Planned City Extension, and one of the things I've heard is about rent to own. Tell me about this concept, because many people really want to own a house.
Right. Yeah, you see, so the rent to own basically is for you to start something, not necessarily make huge deposits. Basically, we want every Ghanaian who wants a house to own, to be able to buy. There's an issue of affordability, but we are not talking about access. And affordability, we know, is relative. So all we are saying is that register with us, make a small initial deposit, 3,000 Ghana cedis, and then start making your monthly rentals depending on the type of property you choose, whether it's a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom, detached or semi-detached house, or flat. In other words, apartment. Basically, that is it. So as you pay up to 20%, you move into the house, and then you continue to make payments until you finish. The highest limit is 25 years. The top or the highest threshold of payment is 25 years. So you can choose to make upfront 5 years, 10 years, or however convenient you want it to be. Basically, this is the whole concept about rent to own.
So do you, for example, need the support of a bank in the form of mortgage to be able to be part of this kind of system?
As a matter of fact, some financial institutions are talking to us, but I mean, we are already in motion. Let me say that we are already in motion. I mean, the partners and the international, our international partners, we are already in motion, and it's demand driven. So that's what it is. We know they are going to come because now people see that this concept. This is really what it has to be. People don't have 20% down payment, 30% down payment, and what have you. But everybody needs a house. So as we speak, we have over 3,700 expression of interest. Not just those who have called. I'm talking about those who have expressed interest. Those who have made, registered, whose houses are going to be, commenced, are going to be done for them by the first quarter of next year. We're going to start construction. About 200 and over 250.
I can hear your phone beeping, and I'm even sure some of these clients are already sending you messages.
It doesn't stop. Yeah, it doesn't stop.
So this land is about how large and how big is this project?
We have about 1,500 acres in this area. There are two sites here. We have about 600 and over 700 acres at the side B. It's just a village that divides the plots, but there's a link through this particular site to the other side. Yeah.
Exactly when is this starting in full force, and how can someone be part of this? What you may say does not look like it's really happening in Ghana.
It has already begun. We started a campaign, for rent to own land and house ownership scheme. The Plant City Extension project started a few years ago. It's gone through a lot of phases and stages, until we had to settle on this model, to go, because it has to be inclusive. By inclusiveness, you have to make sure that you plan for the poor. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of trouble. So everybody is included. That's why I'm saying that it's gone through a lot of phases and a lot of stages. Now designs, master plans are virtually done. We have our, the plans developed, and we are ready to start construction for those who have registered. With over 250 people who have registered, we're ready to start construction for them first quarter next year. By the end of first quarter next year, we're starting theirs for them. So those who register between now and December can be part or are eligible to be part of the first batch.
When you say registration, it means that the person should have made their down payment of 3,000 cedis.
Yes, so the registration is basically 499 Ghana cedis, and then the initial deposit of 3,000 Ghana cedis.
So that should be about 3,500 cedis.
Roughly.
And then how do you do the deductions every month?
Yeah, so some are doing by payment orders, some are doing via the office merchant Momo, the project office merchant Momo. And
what I mean is, how do you stagger the payment for these people, and over what period of time?
It's monthly. So immediately you register, i.e. payment of your 3,500 registration a month after you start commencement. So and you should have paid at least 20% by the time the homes or the house is being given to you.
Next, we connect with a real estate developer who has various offerings in case you would want to use a real estate company when building your house. The following are some facts about the real estate bill. The Real Estate Agency Council is supposed to be set up under the bill. This council is supposed to regulate the practice of the real estate agency, approve courses of study for agency practice, and license real estate brokers and agents.
All right, that's it for In Business this week. It's brought to us kind courtesy EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. It's your birthday today, Madam Janice Bapping of Ghana Revenue Authority. And it's also your 50th birthday, Mrs. Comfort Wamaga of Ghana Petroleum Mooring Systems Limited. It's from your brother, famous Kwesi Atichogbe, the entire Atichogbe and allied families, both home and abroad. Messages, may the heavens descend upon you in a very special way today for this milestone. Stay with us. When we come back is a conversation with Mr. Dan Butchie here on the show.